The first step, if you want to reach the level of tawakkul, the first step is you need what we call wakil glasses. What are wakil glasses? Every incident that happens in your life, the way you look at it and the way you interpret it, this alone can change your life completely. Somebody who has an anxiety disorder, in reality, their problem is, one of the many problems they have, potentially, is a lack of tawakkul. They invest all of their money in a business. The next day, they lose all of their money in the business. And now they are in a constant state of worry. Even 10 years later, when they become wealthy again, they are constantly worried because they burnt their fingers. I don't want to invest in anything ever again because I've already been burnt before. The psychologists call this trauma. As Muslims, we don't call this trauma. Trauma in the English language is when something very heavy smacks you in the face. They call it blunt trauma. Something blunt has smashed into you. We don't call this trauma, we call it trials and tests. Because trials and tests come from a merciful creator who's trying to improve you. And trauma comes from somebody trying to kill you. You see, so the language, how you describe what's happening to you and how you understand it and how you frame it is half of the journey of the soul. Something bad happens to you. Your mother passes away, your father passes away, you lose your wealth in an investment, you go through a divorce, you go through a challenge at work, somebody's taken you to court for something you never did. You're going through some challenge in life. The first thing to do is when you look at this, to remember, Allah is my wakil. The one who sent this to me is my agent, my trustee. The one I have trusted all of my affairs to. He is the one who's put me in this situation. Who is going to take me out? The one who put me in can take me out. If He willed it for me, it is the best thing for me. This is the first way to frame the situation. The second thing, I am not anxious or in a rush or in haste to get out, especially if my hands are tied. Because I know the one who put me in here, Al-Wakil, put me here for a wisdom. And it is just a matter of time when His wisdom dictates for me to be left out. I will not be here 1 second long than He wants me to be, nor 1 second less than He wants me to be. And this is the attitude of Yusuf alayhi salam in prison. He is not in prison of his own accord. He's there out of his control. Ibrahim alayhi salam didn't choose to be in the fire. Yunus alayhi salam didn't choose to enter the whale. Oftentimes you end up in situations in life you never chose, but Allah chose for you. And here's the question. You went to a travel agent and you said, book me these flights to Argentina. I leave it to you. I trust you. You're competent. You're intelligent. You end up on the flight and you think, what on earth is this airlines? There's no food on the flight. There's no drink on the flight. Then you remind yourself, actually, I trust the agent. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. There's got to be some reason why he did this to me. You take your first flight from here to Argentina. One stop. And great. You step off. You transit. You take your second flight in order to get to Argentina. Second flight's business class. Someone's massaging your feet on the aeroplane. You think, wow, maybe this is why he did this to me. He got a cheaper first flight so I could get a better second flight. I trust him. He's a smart guy. This is the way that we have to trust Allah. When we are in situations out of our control, we have to be sure, absolutely certain, that there is a silver lining, that there is a plan, there is an exit, there is a better outcome, because Al-Wakil sent it to me. Why would I worry? I trust him more than I trust my own parents, my own children. Why would I worry? If my mother chose to send me to prison, she was 100% saving me from something worse. And so, if you look at, first of all, and perceive the situation in this way, it's not possible for you to be extremely stressed out or suicidal or extremely anxious. Why? You're reminding yourself, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil. I trusted myself and my affairs and my day-to-day situation to the best agent, the best trustee. Why should I worry? And so you slowly see your stress levels reducing, your cortisol levels reducing. The GP says you don't need medication. You need to go home, say 7 times, Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu. You'll be fine, don't worry. This is the first step. How you perceive the situation in life. Then there's a second type of situation. The situation you are in control of. And the situation that you and me are in control of, we have to realize our control is fake, it's an illusion. Now human beings think that they can do genetic engineering, they can control animals, they can control the taste, the size, the color of the chicken that we eat on our plates. Everything we feel that we have under our control, somehow, some way we can manipulate it. One of the important parts of tawakkul is realizing the powerlessness of human beings. And how sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does things with no asbab. In a completely miraculous way. Allah makes things happen. In your experience of life, you may have experienced such things. Something happened, a job came to you, you never asked for it. A proposal came to you, you never looked for it. And you realize from these situations, I could do a million things and I get nothing. Or I could even sat on my seat and Allah can bring me something I never asked for. Allah can provide with or without the means and the methods and the tools. And in the Quran, Allah gives us many examples of people this happened to. Some stories of the Quran where Allah provided or gave or acted with no means and no tools to make it happen. Direct action from Allah, intervention. Maryam alayhi salam and the virgin birth of Isa alayhi salam. Without the natural way to deliver a child, Allah provides her from no natural cause, no biological cause. One of the beautiful things about such situations, you have to reflect over your life and remember these situations. And when you are feeling despair and anxiety and worry, you have to remember these situations when Allah gave you, when you never asked for something. Maryam alayhi salam, when Allah says to her, you're about to have a child, what's her reaction? Does anybody know? She questions Allah. She's shocked. أَنَّا يَكُونُ لِي غُلَامٌ وَلَمْ يَمْسَسْنِي بَشَرٌ. She asked the angels, how is it possible for me to have a boy and a man has not touched me? قَالُوا كَذَلِكِ اللَّهُ يَفْعَلُ مَا يَشَاءُ. That's how Allah is. He does what He wants. You've kind of forgot at some point on the journey that it's not you going through the reproductive means that produce the child. Allah creates the child directly. You're just going through the process, but Allah creates directly. It's nothing to do with you. It's to do only directly with His intervention. When Ibrahim alayhi salam is congratulated, him and his wife are congratulated with a child. What's the reaction of Ibrahim alayhi salam's wife? She laughed, ضحكت. She was amazed. Whoa, how is it possible for me to have a child? قَالُوا أَتَعْجَبِينَ مِنْ أَمْرِ اللَّهِ. They said, how can you be amazed at Allah's command? Why? Because just like Maryam alayhi salam, just like the wife of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we get used to the idea that it's my CV that brings the job, and it's this reproductive process that brings the children, and it's these steps is what brings a child. And we are shocked at the idea it can come with no steps. And this is the second way to increase your tawakkul, to remember the stories of people and the stories in your own life when things happened without you trying, without you seeking, without you going out of your way, Allah brought it to you.